This is a late 1950s Sling-A-Lam Radio King with a clamshell strainer on it. Beautiful drum, solid maple. And this is a 1966 Ludwig 400, probably the most recorded snare drum of all time. 1966 is a good year, the Keystone badge, but 1963 is the year you want to be looking for if you're going to get into collecting vintage Ludwig drums, because in 1963 that is when the Beatles went on the Ed Sullivan Show and Ludwig drums became so popular that Ludwig had to start running 7-day shifts of 8 hours to keep up with it. You could effectively think of this drum as being like a Fender Stratocaster and this drum as being like a Fender Telecaster. So this is my last video of daily vlogs for week 150 in a row, and I thought I'd just do a bit of a summary over this week. Effectively this week I've ridden 560 kilometers. I wanted it to be near 700 kilometers, but ultimately life and work and new puppy kind of got in the way. But here are some of the lessons that I've learned over the last 3 weeks of training. I rode 365 kilometers in week 1, 350 kilometers in week 2 and 520 kilometers in week 3. It works out to be an average over 21 days of around about 58, 59 kilometers a day. I was a little bit more than what I did in the summer, but there's a lot more elevation going on. That needs to be the thing that I focus on over the next couple of weeks. Get back a bit on Zwift, do a little bit more intensity, and when I do go out for rides I'm going to have to start doing some of those bigger climbs. And with the weather the way it's going next week, that's probably no bad thing. I also need to spend this next week looking at getting a 3-day plan for a recon over in Brecon, not just to recon the courses, and I'll talk about that in just a second, but also to get those climbing elevation meters in. And likewise, I need to get back on the 16/8 diet that I scrapped this week because I needed to get the calories in to do the bigger rides, back on the 16/8 and the Monday and Wednesday reduced calorie intake to get my weight down so that climbing is much easier. So with the Garmin, I just became a little bit too reliant on it, just loading GPX routes into there and then setting off and hoping for the best. I need to know where the route is going. I need to have a good idea of where I'm going each day, the waypoints and the parts it's passing through and which roads I am going on and which routes I'm not, particularly the way that I'm leaving the town that I live in. I also need to maybe write some of those STEM things out that you see the pros have got, where it tells you the kind of distances and where the climbs are and things like that. I need to become a little bit less reliant on my Garmin and know a little bit more about what I'm going to do each day. So that's where the recons need to be really solid. Go and drive and ride every single route and make notes on that over the next 3 months. I found daily vlogging fairly easy, if I'm honest with you. I'm pretty experienced at editing and filming. One thing that did slow me down was the thumbnails each day, and the other thing that slowed me down was the 360 camera export. So I need to think through how I can do that a bit quicker each day. I also tried a load of different variations on the daily vlogs out, but I think probably doing daily vlogs on a bank holiday week during the Easter holidays, not the greatest time to try and gather some analytics and metrics on it. So it would be good to kind of get an idea maybe in the comments below what sort of videos you enjoyed. Did you enjoy it when I was chatting to the people on the bikes, or did you enjoy it when I did the voiceover stuff, or what sort of things do you think would go down well in the daily vlogs each time I'm going out for a ride? However, the fact that it was a day behind, I wish I could change that. I'm not sure how I can do that and get that so that I'm actually releasing the videos on the same day each day. I'd love to be able to do that, but the workflow is much easier when you're exporting the videos overnight and uploading it for the next day. I might look into that, but it's not a priority at the moment. This is a big one. Company made a massive difference. I've got to say a massive thank you to Stefan, Ian, to Andy, Suniel and Hannah for coming out for rides with me this week. It makes a huge difference. When I go out on my own, I have about 30 kilometers where I'm okay, and then I start to get a little bit bored. When I'm riding with people, the first 60, 70 kilometers disappear in the blink of an eye. So if you do want to help me out on this challenge, please do sign up. The fundraising link is below. You can join me on some of these rides. I would really appreciate it if people did sign up to that and come and join me for a ride. It kind of doesn't matter how slowly we go. In fact, if we're going slowly, the miles pass so much easier. Trying to ride fast on your own is quite tricky. So please do sign up for that. But it did make a huge difference. That said, riding on my own did give me a bit of a chance to spend a bit of time thinking about why I'm actually doing this. Not in terms of a physiological sense or anything else, but really the actual reasons to raise money for an amazing charity. Eating and drinking on the bike is absolutely no problem whatsoever. Preparing my food to take out with me is absolutely fine. I do like savoury food, not a big fan of gels and stuff like that. However, one thing I do need to look at is preparing food for when I come back from the ride, making sure there's a meal there and a recovery drink ready to go. That's one thing I got wrong in this last 3 weeks. A lot of my rides were starting around about 6:30, 7 o'clock each day so that I could get the ride out of the way and carry on with work. However, one thing I was noticing is that whilst the first hour or so was quite nice, there are some problems with the fact that I was hitting the school run and also the rush hour a couple of hours into the ride, which is deeply unpleasant. So I think I'll move my start time back to 9:15, 9:30 each time. That'll give me enough time to do my 6, 5, 4-hour rides, whatever they turn out to be each day, still get back in time for sort of late lunch and be able to edit the videos and get them uploaded and recover. What it'll also allow us to do, and me and Hannah had this problem where our ride on Monday started at 4 degrees and ended at 20 degrees. It will also help with clothing selection, making that easier rather than having to take loads of clothes out in the morning and then having to take them off and carry them for the rest of the ride. So for stage 5, it's a 10-mile time trial, and the pros are riding 16 miles, which means it's 16 kilometers for my stage, which means it's a 10-mile time trial. Now, I was going to use my local club route. However, they've built a load of houses and put a new roundabout on there, and I have been looking for other options for routes that might be a little bit safer. It turns out that the time trial that I rode earlier this week is running on the exact night, on the exact date of stage 5. So I will be doing that one at Castle Combe for the DB Max TT series. If you want to join me on that one, please pay on the fundraising page, but then also enter the race down here. My start time will be between 5:30 and 6. I will try and see by then, hopefully, maybe we'll be able to hang around a bit longer if I can stay for the entire race and meet up with some of you and meet you and say hi. I need to make sure that I charge my light, my Di2, my power meter, my camera batteries, my mic batteries. I need a checklist of all the things that I need to do when I come home and get it done immediately. Bike maintenance, checking tyre pressures, making sure all those things are done as soon as I get back and ready to go for the next day so that I'm not rushing around the night before. I need a checklist and a checkboard to make sure that I'm on schedule with everything that I need to do. I would love to figure out how to get a live tracker so I can put it on a website somewhere so people can follow me each day and see where I'm going and where I'm at and track it all. I don't know how to do this stuff, but it's something I'm going to look into. If it's something that you know anything about, then again, please leave me a message and I'll get in contact with you over YouTube and we can maybe talk about this, but it's not something I know anything about. If it can be done via a Garmin or a mobile phone that I'm carrying, then that would be ace. And so that's about it, folks. Thanks for all the messages of support and encouragement, both on YouTube and Strava and all the other social media stuff. Next week is going to be a real focus on getting some intensity in, bit of a recovery week, but definitely keeping the training going, and then hoping the weather will get a bit better. We'll see how it goes so that I can get out on my new bike, which I'll be picking up this week and can finally ride because it'll all have the Di2 on it. So I'm really excited about that. Let's hope in this next week I can get out for a ride and shoot some footage of that. Have a good week. Thanks for joining me, those of you that came and joined me, and keep those messages of support coming. Please check the fundraising page out, all that stuff. Do have a good rest of the Easter holidays, and I will see you in week 151.